Hi, I'm Steve and welcome to the channel. If you already subscribed, thank you very much. I can't believe that people actually want to watch me doing this, but there you go. If you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, press the button in the corner of the screen or the one below. Doesn't cost anything and it helps the channel. And I'm trying to get the channel up to about 1,500 subscribers. I did a poll on the community section of the channel about what seat unit. And the seat with a removable cover was leading for a while, but now it's the 29 votes. You can still come on and vote. I'd like people to come on and vote just out of interest. A fiberglass seat, painted seat unit with a seat is definitely the most popular. It's got 59% of the votes, so it's looking like it's going that way, but I'll leave the poll open and people can go on and vote. I'll put polls on there from time to time, but I'll tell you when they're going on. And it's one of them episodes that shows that it doesn't always go to plan, and it doesn't always go to how the Haynes manual says it will go. So problems to solve, work through, but these things get worked out, and it's all part of the learning process. So without me messing about, let's get on with stripping down the forks. To be honest, I've done one, but the filming didn't work very well. The sound was rubbish. So luckily, normally you can't go back and do these things unless you put it back together and strip it back down. But of course there's two. So I will go through stripping the other side down. Put that in a safe place so it doesn't fall over, so you don't get any marks on the chrome. Right, safe place. Fork leg, second time. Not the second time, first time. There's a little bit of pitting on this fork leg, but for a 20-year-old bike it's not bad, and in the area that the forks actually run, it's not bad at all. So this is the right hand fork leg, so I'll make a note of that, because when you can see it here, it's obvious it's the left hand fork leg. When you can see it here, it's obvious it's the right hand fork leg, but once you've stripped it down you won't remember which one's which. You really don't want to mix up the internals. So this is where a Haynes manual is ideal, because every pair of forks is completely different. So I'm not going to run through how to strip these down. I will go show you, but your forks will be different. So first you've got to loosen the damper rod, retaining screw, which is in the bottom on these ones anyway. So that is loose ish. Unscrew that. So loosen the damper rod off. Then if you think on before you strip the bike, before you take the forks out from the bike, you can loosen this cap, or you will have to put it in the vise. Be very careful about damaging. Now actually loosened mine off. So this is going to be under spring tension, so bear in mind it's not going to be a lot, but bear in mind there will be some pressure. We'll get that in a minute. So these forks were supposed to have had the seals changed, and the seals look pretty good, but I think that the guy who changed them only changed the dust seal, because if you look at this oil, it is absolutely manky. So you've got that spacer, little washer, then your spring, so we get as much oil out of there as possible. Right, oh there's the damper rod, damper piece, damper rod, I don't know what it's called, damper bit. So that means that screw's a bit loose. Here's the little screw. So you've got most of that out. Put that to one side. So prise off the dust seal. That to one side. And then inside is a little, I don't know if you can see it, I'll show you in a minute, little spring clip, there it is, that holds the oil seal in. You try not to scratch anything when you're doing this. And the way to get your tube out of your oil seal, the piece at the end is like almost like a piston ring that holds it, and you slide it and bang it. I know it's a bit of an unusual movement, but that's basically how you do it. Sometimes it wants to stick, so just a bit of a cloth, it won't take much to move it again, and then basically like that till it comes out. And there you go. Here's a situation you might find yourself in. The other fork seal was quite tight, but it came out with the method of pulling it. This one won't move, absolutely solid. So I've set the fork leg in the vise, put some card so it doesn't mark it up, and I'm going to warm round here. Not go mad. I'm going to warm around here so it just eases the brick on the seal. You can see where someone's been battering it, and it wasn't me. Wow! Well, there you go. It's out. But that was tight. It was really tight. Yeah, bugger. And it's hot. So, no damage. It's out. And I'll have to check that when I put the fork seal back in next time. So all you've got left back inside is the end of the... It goes on there. Whatever it's called. So... few little marks on there, it's not great, but yeah, seal, and that is hot. So, but that's it, it is out. So I'll pack up the fork tube so it doesn't get damaged, put it in some bubble wrap or something, clean everything up, and then for these I'm going to take off all the casting marks just so I get a nicer finish. Obviously the brake mounts, I'm going to use the mudguard mounts, and I'll dress some of these up. Probably won't bother taking that off, but there you go. So that's the forks done. So the next thing is the swinging arm. Taking the dust seals out and the bearings, but the bearing for the bearing from the bottom of the shock mount pivot is absolutely seized solid. I can't even get the tube out from the needle roller bearing. So I'm now going to have to resort to something a bit more desperate. So I've made this press, and I'm going to warm this up and see if I can press it out. So for all, it doesn't really move, it hardly moves, and it'd probably be fine just pivoting on its bolt. I'm sure in years gone by there were just bushes in there. It's jammed solid, it's not right, I want to take it out. Right, well that came with a bang, made me jump, and that is absolutely rusted solid. If it wasn't for the fact that it came with oil seals on the sides, I would have said that that was one solid piece and it was just meant to pivot on the bolt. But And what I'll do is, I think I'll cut this open just for my own curiosity and see if I can get the sleeve out and see what it looks like. I'll clean up the hole that the bearing runs in, so it's got a load of stuff in it, and then I'll cover that up like I've done them, and then give that all a good clean, put some old bolts into the inserts, and then that'll be ready to go for powder coating. There's a bit of corrosion around there. I've cut a slot through there, and despite what you would think, unbelievably supposed to be a roller bearing. So all the rollers have just rusted into one big lump, and that is the sleeve that goes through the middle. So it looks like that'll need replacing as well. It's a bit rough. So that's the casting marks polished off the fork legs. There is old bolts in all the threads that I don't want to get powder coating on. Nuts onto the studs, so they'll get powder coated over. They can be backed off. Any areas that I can blank off have been blanked off with the big washers, and that's it. I think everything's ready for powder coating now. I've just got to find time to get there. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and next time I will be taking out the broken studs for the exhaust headers out of the engine, and hopefully that'll go okay, and then I will be cleaning up the engine ready for painting. If it doesn't go okay, I'll be stripping the engine down, getting the cylinder head off, ready for drilling. So fingers crossed, and I'll see you next Wednesday.